As I recall, when we were evaluating the issues that the Missions Committee had back some 10 years ago, two of the problems we identified was that the funding was erratic. The funding was made up from whatever was left over after the church budget was met. And this funding had been decreasing for a number of years. So through the recommendation of the Mission Society, they brought forward this Faith Promise, which was a different funding mechanism that they had been using in a number of other organizations. We discussed that and decided to make a leap of faith that we would not depend on the church budget or the church allocation for the funding of the missions, but that our missions activity would be determined by the faith of the church members and their contributions.
And I'll have to say, when I first heard that, I was skeptical and cynical about it because I was afraid that what a lot of people might do would be to say, well, this is how much I've been giving to the ministry, so I'll decrease to my ministry giving and give some to Faith Promise for missions.
Yep.
But that's not what happened. People still continued to give to ministry and really saw the Faith Promise as the added and extra that it's supposed to be.
And so as a result of that, this missions here at the church has continued to thrive for a decade now. And the church funding is probably, the missions funding is probably the highest level it's ever been in the history of the church.
And for example, this past year, people pledged almost $300,000 and have given well over $200,000 now to furnish this last year. So we're able to do so much more for our mission partners.
Yeah, it's important that they know that every penny they give goes directly to the to the missions. But another fallout from this is that we have much more involvement of the church community in missions and direct hands-on missions work.
What we've seen even over this past difficult year and the year before is that even so the congregation has continued to contribute to missions. So much so that we were able to pick up the slack that so many of our mission partners were facing when their contributions were down and when their finances were in difficulty. For example, one of our missions is Hope School Bethlehem, in Jesus' home. And that school is designed to educate the least of these. When COVID hit Israel and the Holy Land, it hit Hope School very hard. And they were the faculty had to work sometimes without pay, but their mission was important to them, and so they stayed with it. And through our congregation's generosity throughout this time, we were able to help financially with the school during one of its most difficult periods and get it truly back on its feet. It's that kind of thing that we're able to do through mission giving at the church. I know Children First, which is our homegrown mission. For the first time ever, it operated for 12 straight months. They usually take off during the summer months when school isn't in session, but they provided, we provided SAC lunches, SAC foods every Friday for students from Morris Elementary School through the summers, and we had teachers giving those out in the summer. Those were not things that we even had budgeted, but because of the generosity of Faith Promise giving, we were able to be the hands and feet of Christ during this very, very difficult time.